The very first time that we pulled in here, we were just like, wow, you know, because everything's run down, you know. The amount of money to like bring it up, Dad didn't have, you know. And it's always looked rough for like the whole time my dad's had it and even before he bought it. It makes me think of a slasher movie, you know. We always kind of joked about it with my dad. It was more of kind of a situation of happenstance, I guess. I don't know. My dad knew the previous owner and they wound up chit-chatting or something that my dad decided that this was a good idea. And we come out here and we're like, Dad, why, like, when you said it was a motel in Jeffrey City, like, we didn't realize that it was a motel in Jeffrey City.
The Green Mountain Motel is one of the few places to stay on the desolate 125-mile stretch between Rollins and Lander. The motel is one of a few remnants of Jeffrey City, once a booming uranium mining town that busted in the early 80s, and most residents left soon after. The motel has 10 rooms for $60 per night, with a house on the premises and a large workshop, which used to be the town's auto parts store. Randy's dad, Kevin, bought the property in 2014 and lived there with his corgi until he passed away last year. Now it's up to Randy and his siblings to take care of what their dad left behind.
Our end goal is to sell the place because that's what my dad was trying to do before he passed, because we kind of didn't choose to do this exactly, you know. We've been trying to keep it afloat for almost a year now, just dealing with, you know, courts and stuff, of course, probate or whatever you call it, and then I guess just trying to grieve, you know, and trying to move on. So that's about where we're at the moment.
The motel mostly attracts hunters and summer travelers, but in the bitter winter season, the motel might only see a guest or two per month. And during Jeffrey City's tough winters, Kevin was known to help out people who got stranded when snow caused the highway to close. The family said the property was valued at $185,000. They're starting at that price, but are open to offers. They hope to sell it within the year.
Not necessarily have to enjoy everything that you do, but
You move forward, you get it done, adapt and overcome. Get it from my dad. He was the same way. Just do anything and everything just to get her done, you know. So before he passed, he enjoyed it out here for the most part. I think a lot of it was more just the freedom. He had visions, you know, and he liked to tinker and stuff, so it seemed like every vision he had was the next project. So he enjoyed it up to a point, but it was killing him because all he did out here was drink, essentially, which is the sad part of this situation. But so we started filling this trailer up as a storage unit kind of thing of what he wanted to keep, because he was going to try to like move to Arizona, snowbird or whatever. So when I come out here, I have to also do some estate stuff too, getting it so that way we can sell stuff or consume it into the family, you know.
Randy lives about an hour and a half away in Casper, but he visits most weekends to manage his dad's estate. Local family friends look after the motel during the week.
I mean, I don't have to go through my dad's stuff to know my dad, but it brings back memories, you know. If anybody had to do this, they understand. You go through it and some things you're just like, why in the hell were you keeping that? Or what's the story behind this? You know, like why? Kind of the pack rat mentality, and that was definitely my dad, but not all of it was just junk. Like, he felt a purpose for everything that he had. He did, you know, welding, kind of an all-around handyman type situation. Anything and everything. There was nothing that he wouldn't at least attempt to do, you know. He enjoyed doing everything. We've actually worked together a couple times through the years. I thought my dad and I had a good relationship. We don't know exactly what it was, but that's how he passed. It was an auto accident right here. So his truck that he was driving, we think that he was getting in to leave or go somewhere, and he had a medical event, seizure or something, but he wound up driving backwards through his fence and past the house, and then wound up coming this direction and run through the building here. And then his truck went across the road and run into a shop over there, and he had to be life flighted to Casper and didn't make it, so. My dad's medical event was more than likely linked to a seizure or something with alcohol. There was some frustration there as well, because it is a hard situation to watch somebody pretty much kill themselves, you know. That's why we want to sell it. It gets hard, you know, to see it. I've done some work to Dad's boom truck, his old work truck, and I was going to go see if it'll start back up again for me. It doesn't have enough juice. Him and I had Robinett construction years ago together. We kind of worked together on doing the welding and using the truck, you know. Like, you come out here and, I don't know, almost talk to him, you know? And almost like feel him. Sometimes it makes it very hard, but it also makes it easier too, you know? It does make you remember him, yeah, the type of person he was. I think I'd rather, instead of just, you know, coming in and just wiping it all out in a week. I know that sometimes when people have to take care of estates, it's quick. And I don't think that sometimes when you do it like that, that you get the chance to have feeling and actually put your emotions into what you're doing, you know, so. I suppose my dad's legacy would be us, his kids. And just the way that he raised us, you know, being able to come out here and get stuff done, you know, just strong, strong as I'm crying. Resilient people, that's his legacy. My dad was only 62, so realistically that's early, you know, so you don't plan on it happening. And we don't want to leave this burden like this kind of situation on anybody else, you know, so it's been a learning experience as well, you know. I mean, death happens to us all, you know. It's a lot better to talk about it. Like, nobody wants to plan for it because they don't think it's ever going to happen, but it happens, you know.